What would 12 years old you think of how you are now? You turned out exactly how I expected, but somehow, I'm still disappointed. I expect nothing and I'm still disappointed. Edit, Jesus, a quote from Malcolm in the Middle gets a golden 5K upvotes, and rising, never change, Reddit. He would honestly think him like the coolest guy ever and be pumped about the future, but that's just because he had really bad taste. You have 2 PS4s? Yeah, one for me, one for my wife. Holy shit. What games do you have? Basically whatever games I want. Throwing out $30 for a game or even $60 for a great new one isn't a big deal to me. Wow. You must play like all the time. Well, I play it. Sometimes. I just. I'm tired when I get home from work sometimes. And. My PS2 120 games, PS3 40 games. PS4 6 games. Will I buy a PS5 just to play one game? Probably. I'm thinking I will. Let's see, on my PS4 I have played and finished God of War, The Last of Us, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man, and I think that's it. Frankly, I feel like my purchase has been worth it. So if the PS5 has a similarly small set of good games, it'll be worth it for me. Why are you still a virgin? Even I lost my virginity. Wait. 12-year-olds be like, yeah, I totally had the sex, in fact I had too. Jealous of the allowance my boss gives me. Little does he know, it's actually pitiful. As a kid it would have seemed like a fortune. Then again, you could have paid me in video games and candy. Everything's relative. I'm 39 and I would still be interested in hearing more about this offer. Yes, we're willing to offer you 2 brand new games of your choosing a week and all the candy ice cream you want for 40 hours week of data entry. Well, that covers the cost of my hobbies and my grocery bill, so it's a start. Yeah, TBH, and if you run out of games that you want, just start getting expensive ones and sell them. That's your new income. STONKS. You're going to drink that much? At 11 a.m.? Wine is just jam you can drink. Now pass the toast and don't judge my breakfast. Is beer the toast? Of course. They both have yeast, right? Wow, your life is boring. Hess right behind me, isn't he? No, he's right in front of you. Disappointed at best. That's all you've done? 12-year-old me yells. I'm 48, and basically all I've done is raise 2 kids, never held a job longer than 4 years. I don't hold jobs long, either. Like between 2 and 4 years and I start getting the urge to move on. House, job, sometimes career, even education, went back to school thrice. I keep relationships, people around long term, but everything else has gotta go. Ditto, my mom calls it the gypsy gene. Not a drop of Romany in us, but the urge to move all time is strong. Like I have a hard time conceptualizing doing a job or living in one spot for more than 4 or 5 years. I remember reading comments on Reddit about people from rural areas. They'll grow up in a tiny town with maybe 100 people that hasn't changed in decades, wake up and do the same farm coring each day, and maybe once a year they would treat themselves and head to Olive Garden for dinner. Do that on repeat for 50 years. I just can't imagine having done so little in life, it freaks me out just thinking about it. It's funny how it works. Those people can't imagine not having stability or a clear plan of what to do the next day. They can't imagine living somewhere else. It brings horrific anxiety. But to be fair, they've not necessarily done so little, they're just not very flashy. Try pulling a calf out of a cow giving birth at 4 a.m. so they don't both die and you get swarmed with wolves or coyotes. You won't go to bed that night thinking you've experienced nothing notable. Great perspective. I was an idiot at 12 so he'd think I was cool. Now me is an idiot too, but I only think I'm kinda cool. That's cool. Cool. She wouldn't waste her time thinking about old people. Anyone over 30 was not interesting. They mostly still aren't, sadly. I'm over 30. I'm 31 and I play video games or watch TV after work, and after playing with my dogs. I'm boring as duck and happy as fuck about it. He would be disappointed because I'm not a professional football player or a rap artist. That little delusional brat. But if he found out you're a rapping football artist, he'd be ecstatic. She'll get depression earlier. Oh. So that doesn't just go away with time. Sorry, Hollyhock. If you ever want to spice up a sad night, just binge through as much of that show as you can. Sure, I become successful but my hairline is going to recede and start becoming bald, starts violently sobbing. If it makes you feel any better, that was going to happen anyway, and at least you're not unsuccessful. I'm bald and this makes me feel better, thanks. 12-year-old me had no friends, was bullied, and hated everything in his life. He had fears of getting fat, dying alone, and spending his days hidden from the world. He would cry at how well we've wound up. Married, working as an engineer, with a home, a baby on the way, shitloads of close friends whom I love and would do anything for, and the kids who used to bully me wound up exactly where they belonged. Hey, you have Star Wars. It's right here on the shelf. Hey, why is it on the shelf? Why aren't you watching Star Wars? You have Star Wars. Can we watch Star Wars now? No, we're not watching that Star Wars, we're watching this Star Wars. That one is only there for the collection. Inserts full frame special edition VHS. I'm more fit now, so he'd probably be like, damn bro, nice biceps. She'd be appalled at who I married. My husband and I went to grade school together, we did not get along at all. Probably disappointed I didn't go to her school of choice or finish college. I'm not a famous artist, I don't work for Marvel Comics, and I don't have any kids. Do you have any art you'd be willing to share? I'm sure a lot of us would love to see what you've done, smile. Some of my stuff is on my profile. I also have an Instagram, Zumcomics. Edit, whoa, thanks for following me folks. Probably nothing. That would require me taking my mind off of my hot math teacher Miss Harper, and that rarely happened with 12-year-old me. Is it chilly in here? Or did your dick nipples just harden? Urged nipple said it, NSFW, apparently it isn't marked that way already. And that's enough Reddit for today. Hashtag that's defo enough internet for today hash. I'd be very impressed. I was overweight, depressed, basically friendless, and didn't know at the time, but being an adult now, it is very clear, some kind of attention disorder. Had horrible grades because I just didn't care, parents didn't, so why should I? Wasn't into sports at the time either. Am now in a successful position in a very successful company, with a great social life and an awesome little family. I just bought a house I'd never in my wildest dreams thought I'd be able to afford. I'm still about 20 pounds overweight, but my husband likes my curvy butt and chest, so I call that a win, I suppose. Don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of ups and downs, but overall, in doing all right for myself, which is something I'd never thought would be the case at 12. Probably upset that I'm not a vet and don't own a Scarlet Macaw. It's okay, little me, I found a much better aspiration and I have a cool ferret instead. Scarlet Macaw ferret, knew you've made a mistake here, but the solution is a macaw riding ferret. Wow, so I'm gay? I'm not gay, but I might tell my 12-year-old self that just to duck with them. I'm not gay, but I've heard that many times before. I'm not gay, but Epstein didn't kill himself. 12 me, you're fat. Me, Youre. The me of today is what the 12-year-old version fantasized about becoming, a performing musician and instructor professor. Can only speculate, but I think the 12-year-old me would be surprised and pleased that it actually happened after years of study and hard work. He'd be stoked that I still play DD and probably feigned enjoy at the sight of my RPG bookshelf.